Nicole, what were some things tonight that you needed to do better in order to stay in the game?
Just make free throws was a big thing, you know, and obviously close out to their shooters from the first half to the second half. First half they were 9 from 18 threes, and and then in the second half they didn't have a 3-point. I don't think they made one, so you know I think we adjusted there in the half, but it was just free throws let us down. You know that could have been a much closer game. I think if we had have made more than half of those ones, so that just kind of got us into a bit of a hole.
Polly, I mean, certainly it was a physical game. I mean, how do you not let that affect you and just kind of keep playing your game?
I just feel like anytime South Dakota State, South Dakota play each other, it's going to be physical. I don't know, and it is what it is. You just gotta keep playing. You can't let that bother you. I mean, today it was some good calls, it was some bad calls, but it is what it is. You just gotta keep playing.
Nicole, the defense in the first half, were you kind of choosing your poison there and maybe not emphasizing perimeter defense to a certain extent?
We knew before the game that we wanted to keep them out of the paint. You know, they score the majority of their points in the paint, and so I think we did a good job of that, but then they knocked down those shots, so we had to adjust, and I don't think we didn't adjust early enough to stop those three, but I mean, it was good, and at least in the second half, you know, we adjusted from that, but then they got the points in the paint, so it's kind of, you know, they're a good team. Obviously, they're smart, and they're going to pick where, you know, the open lane is or whatever. So I think we just need to get smarter defensively, and, you know, I think State does a good job of overhelping when they play defense, and I think, you know, we kind of need to learn from that as well, and maybe we need to learn how to play a bit better help and stuff, but, you know, we'll get there.
Nicole, it was a physical game, obviously, but did you feel like it was chippy or not, or was it just a lot of fouls? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of fouls, but I don't know. Probably more so than usual, but I think it's just physicality, and obviously we're both kind of hungry for these kind of games. You know, it's rivalry, and so we both want to play well. And I think we kind of get ahead of ourselves. Our brains start working too fast, and that's where those cheap fouls do kind of come in. But it was still a physical game, and you know we can't blame the refs for anything either.
Did what happened last year in the championship game add a little bit extra intensity, spice, I guess, for this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's always in the back of the players that played last year. It's always in the back of our mind. But, I mean, it's a new year, new team. Both teams have different players. And so, you know, it's going to be a bit of a different game. And obviously today it wasn't how we wanted it to end. But we just got to learn from it. And, you know, it's not the most important one right now. You know, later on it's going to be more important. And so we'll just, you know, learn from this and get better.
To that point, we've had a lot of teams come in here over the years. The last win for this program in this building was 1990, before I think any of you were born. What's been so tough about coming here to play for this program?
I think, you know, their crowd is pretty good, and like, you know, they get really into it, and you're always kind of aware of it, even though you probably shouldn't be. But I think they've just got such a good fan base, and so that kind of, you know, gets in, especially because we're such a young team and we're not used to having such a big crowd. And I think we just kind of got to block that out as well. And, you know, when momentum changes and they get on a roll, then we just kind of need to learn how to stop that and stuff. So, yeah.
Polly, defensively,
any other questions for the players?
Are there things you can point to that maybe you need to improve on specifically defensively going forward?
Well, we always talk about rebounding, winning the rebounding war. And I think tonight we just needed to box out. We gave up so many offensive rebounds, and then on direct line drives, our help side just needs to get a lot better.
Anything else for the players? Thank you, ladies.
Thanks.
Okay, I thought that was an incredible first half from South Dakota State, and we came in here with the game plan. We felt like they've been in conference play, scoring a lot of points in the paint, and we wanted to protect the paint, and they made us pay from behind the arc because of that, and they hit those 9 threes, and we come out in the second half, do a better job, and they don't hit another 3 in the second half, but now there's a lot of direct line drives and open alleys to get to the basket, and free throws made. So they kind of made us pay. Dug ourselves too big of a hole in the first half, and we couldn't recover.
Maybe as you look forward here, it's the halfway point of the conference season. It seems like, what are some things that you want to see better? Obviously victories, but apart from that, it seems like the persistent problems with the defense is going to be a big priority as you head toward March.
Yeah, Mick, it's no secret. You and I have been saying this to you for 5 games, 6 games, 7 games since we started conference play now, and that is that we're giving up too many points. We're not committing to the defensive end of the floor like we need to be. We've got some gaping holes at times defensively, and that until we get those things corrected, we know we're not going to be able to make the kind of run that we want to make. And I think we've had a little bit of adversity here in this first half, just kind of shuffling the lineups and things with injury, but that's kind of the nature of the beast in this game, and we've got to be able to handle that a little bit better. I'm hoping that as we move forward and get a little bit more comfortable with our rotations and things, that we can find a way to keep improving defensively and become a better defensive team.
Certainly a physical game, 59 fouls, a lot of free throws. Was that tough to adjust to, with the flow and everything?
Yeah, it's very tough to adjust to. I'm sure that their coaching staff would probably agree. It's tough to adjust, and you end up having to play a lot of kids. We ended up having to play, Bridget Arns, the freshman post player, a lot more minutes than probably she's been used to, and she stepped up and really gave us a little spark, I thought, and handled that challenge that was presented to her. But when we have kind of both of our 5 players that were fouled out in 11 minutes and 16 minutes of playing time, then that's going to cause your team to have to make some adjustments that we're not used to or comfortable with.
Coach, when you come in here next year, it's going to be a quarter of a century since the program last won in Frost Arena, and none of your players were even born the last time it happened. Does that get in the current players' heads year after year, hearing that streak, coming in here and knowing about that?
I hope not, and to be honest, I didn't know it's been a quarter of a century, and I won't tell my players that very statistic. That's not something we think about. What we think about is every single game trying to be the best team that we can possibly be, continue to improve, be the best team by March, and that's what we're striving for. And for us, we really, this is a great rivalry. It's fun to be a part of. It's awesome to come out and feel this atmosphere. But really, this is just the next game on our schedule, and that's the way we try to approach it. It's the next opportunity for our team to try to become the best team that we're capable of becoming.
Maybe if you look back to last year, and you finished that very strong last month or so, apart from defensive problems, do you see some differences in this team where this team has to make advancements to approach the level that you had last year at the end of the year?
Yeah, yes, there's no question. Last year we were led by 4 seniors that had played tons of minutes in Coyote uniforms. This year we have 1 senior on our roster. We have a couple of returning juniors, and other than that, every other player is a newcomer or an underclassman. And when you're doing that, it's just totally different. It's a totally different situation. I think that our underclassmen are really growing up quickly, and they're learning, and they're advancing, and that's allowing us to become better. But we've got some strides to make for sure, and we're going to we still do have a long ways to go to get where we need to be heading into that March.